Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. It's your pod host, OG Goat, and we have a story for you today. I have a friend of mine who is married for a good 18 years. He's been with his wife. He's supported his family like a man's supposed to do. He raised the children while the wife goes out and makes a living. He bought a house, several cars to have in the family. And then one day after about 18 years, she lands a dream job, only to find out later that she is at dream job. I mean, all the years it took to get to this point and to throw it away on something, I'm going to have to say trivial, guys. Something so trivial when it comes to 18 years in a marriage. Yes, a one-night stand is trivial. I don't care how you think you feel about the other person, it's trivial. But you know what, guys, I'm already into this ongoing conversation with this gentleman. I want you to hear it. Okay, so you got this feeling, and she came home a little tipsy, and she came home tipsy from what? Hanging out with the girls one night, or?
Well, I was hanging out like her job, you know.
Oh, she came home tipsy from work.
Right.
Now, do you think she came home directly from work, or do you think she went out after work?
No, she came home directly from work or whatever. She works in the food industry.
Oh, okay. All right. Understood. Okay. So now she comes in tipsy, and then what happened?
So then after she came home tipsy or whatever, like, you know, she was talking about, like, you know, she was starving. So she came home, it was like 12 something at night, like 12:15 midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, first I found it a little bit weird because, you know, this is the first time she's ever worked in like the food industry. And the first time I've ever heard of, like, you know, like a job where you come in later, you know, in the middle of the night.
Right, exactly. And by the middle of the night, you mean like what time?
Like, you know, like 12 after 12 midnight, you know, like it just was a little weird for me, you know?
Wow. And she normally gets off of work around what time?
Well, it depends. Like normally she'll get off of work at like, depending, like they'll close at like 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's no way you should be getting home at like 12 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
And how far are you from her job?
15 minutes.
Whoa. And so you didn't have no idea of any extracurricular activities after work? She didn't mention anything like that, anything?
Right. So, you know, it became a thing to where, you know, I got suspicious because I'm like, you know, this just like don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Definitely.
So this night that she came home tipsy, she was just like, oh, did you make anything to eat or whatever? So I'm like, no, because, you know, it's 12 o'clock at night. What you know, what am I going to make for food? I didn't know what time you come home.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So then she had made a comment, I guess, where she worked at in the food industry, like, you know, whoever, like her person was, she was like, oh, they, thank God that they made food to me. And she said the person's name. And I was just like, why would you mention another man's name about how he made you food and everything else? And like, you know, you acted real shady towards me. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. So this other man, it was one of the waiters or something?
Well, I guess one of the waiters or, yeah, something or whatever, and that worked in the industry that she works in.
Oh, okay.
You know, at her job. So when she told me that, it threw me. So I was just like, wow, like, you know, like you're bringing up this person and like you're talking like in so much positive praises with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that struck me a little bit odd because, you don't do that with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So after she said that, it made me really wary. So I said, you know what? By trade, I'm a private investigator and everything else. So I guess she probably forgot that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're with somebody long enough, you get too comfortable and you forget, like how it started,
Right, exactly.
And so, I had put some listening devices inside the vehicle, and less than 24 hours, I got exactly what I didn't want to hear.
You got a hit.
Big time.
Wow. Now,
Big time.
now you say big time. I mean, like, what was involved in this hit? Or, I mean, what did you hear? People want to know. I want to know. What did you hear? Tell me you didn't hear what I think you heard.
Well, no, I didn't hear like sexual acts, but
Okay.
I heard what I did hear was her talking about, how come he doesn't talk about it the next day? And he was just like, talk about it. What you want to talk about? And she was just like, she repeated again, I just want to know how come you don't talk about it the next day after some really good stuff.
Well, was it the restaurant food maybe?
That's delectable. You're talking about something delectable. You're talking about food. She's talking about some really good stuff.
Because if it was food, you would just say that.
Right. But it wasn't food.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this. I see how you
know what I mean? And
right.
then later on in the conversation, he was telling her, like, did she like play with herself when she was doing like autopilot in her car? And then she was like, absolutely. She was like, after that moment, I had to. So I was just bugging it. When I heard that, I was just like, wow. I was like, yo, this shit really went down.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then she had later told him, like, because I guess he called her, like, jealous and stuff like that. So she had told him, you must have never loved someone before to know why people get jealous. So then it went through my mind. So you're saying, like, you love him and that's why you act in a certain way with him when he's around, like, other people?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you get that jealous or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing all of this stuff firsthand, and it's like it just built this own blueprint. You know what I mean? Because it's like you just know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
You just know what happened and stuff like that, and then she had told him later on, like, she was like, her jealousness doesn't come from like whoever he talks to or whatever. She says it comes from the attraction and love that she has for a person, and she was like, and I'm attracted to you.
Wow. Now,
so,
let's get a clear focus on this. This is your wife we're talking about. You guys are married,
absolutely.
Or this is your girlfriend?
Nah, this is wife. Married, yeah, everything.
Do you have children with this woman?
2.
This wife?
Yep.
Wow. And how long have you guys been together?
Since 2006. Married. So it's about 18 years. Yep.
Wow. Okay, go ahead. Finish the story. So what happens next?
So then what happened next is that I had approached her with it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why did you say whatever? She's like, playing dumb. Like, she didn't understand. And I played the recording and she was just like, I'm sorry,
Oh,
and I'm like,
she heard the recording and she says, I'm
absolutely.
Sorry.
Right. She says, I'm sorry. I'm like, like all of this time he was telling me, because I had asked her before, like, are you having an affair? Because after I heard it, I immediately started questioning her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, are you having an affair? She was like, no. I was like, are you fucking your boss?
Right.
She was like, no, that's my boss. He writes my paychecks. Like, what's wrong with you? You're so insecure. What's wrong? And then I let her hear the recording. So now all of that shit changed from what's wrong to I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You're trying to gaslight me to get me to believe one thing and it's not what it is. Like that term, who you thought was them really ain't they, playing deja vu with the games people play,
Yeah.
And it was that type of shit, misdirection. Let me throw him off the trail so this way he thinks something different. You know what I mean?
And then she comes back to cop to
Right.
what she just did.
Exactly. Exactly.
After she heard the recording, there's like no way out.
Right. Right.
Unbelievable. So now
And
what?
since it,
So now when she cops to it, how do you take it from there? What do you do? Do you forgive her, or what
well,
do
you
you
know,
do?
I was in a state of shock. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
pretty much, it's like when you hear something so detrimental like that, it's like a huge blow. You know, like because you start questioning yourself. What
Okay.
did I do wrong? Why? What made her do this, or why did she do it? You know what I'm saying? Until I realized that, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I cheated before 15 years ago. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And she brings that up. Like when I'm talking about a current situation, she's talking about something from 15 years ago. So I'm like, oh, this shit is like revenge kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because why are you bringing up something from 15 years? How is that helping you now?
Okay. So she forgave the situation that you did
Right.
when you cheated. She forgave you for that,
Right.
but she didn't forget.
Right.
Now, is it possible that this could be a revenge from that? But would you even wait 15 years to implement a revenge tactic on that? Or do you think you have carte blanche now, that you have one get out of jail free card because you cheated? I mean,
Right.
what do you think is going through her mind?
Well, I think that I asked her, was it a revenge thing
Yeah.
and everything else? So she said, no, it's not a revenge thing, or whatever the case is. That so she said, no, it's not a revenge thing. That this is just something stupid that happened.
Right, because you did mention she fell for the guy because of certain situations or her certain feelings she had for the guy.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So now you know she had this relationship with this man. You know it's sexual. Okay. You have the recording. And what do you do at this point? I mean, are you looking to forgive her as she forgave you? What do you do? I mean, you guys been together for 18 long years. I mean, that's a lot of time just to throw away. So how do you handle this?
Yeah, no, exactly. 18 years is, too long of a time. But then at the same token, what is time?
Hmm. Yeah.
You know,
If you
what is
can throw
time?
it away that easy, what is time? Right. So are you going to continue with your marriage? Are you going to forgive her? What's the next step in this saga? I mean, the whole thing is like, I mean, your wife for 18 years cheated on you with the boss, and you the one that built an opportunity for her to make something of herself so she can do while you take care of the kids. I mean, you're going through a lot right now for a wife to do that to you. I mean, what part of the game is this? And, it seems like your relationship or your cheating was prior to having the children. Am I correct?
Correct.
So she cheated after you had your children. And how many children you said you have now?
Two.
Two, with the same woman,
Yes.
with your wife. And her cheating is after you had the two children.
Correct.
Wow, folks, this is a saga like no other. I mean, 18 years with the wife. What part of the game is that? Let me ask you a question. Is the boss married? Does he have a girlfriend, or he's a single available guy? What's going on with the boss?
Well, here's the other thing. The boss is he's married. He's with his wife. I think about 7 years or 15 years or something like that, and has 4 kids with his wife.
Oh, wow. This is deeper than any television show I've ever seen. Go ahead. So he's
Right.
living with his wife. Wow. And he has
So,
4 children.
he has 4 children, so, my whole thing of it is like, okay, do you leave her, get divorced, or do you, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? She was crying and talking about how sorry she was about the infidelity. And I then told her, I said, listen, she was like, moving forward, I promise you, I won't be doing this again and everything else. So, I wasn't going to forgive so fast, but, again, I was very angry. So I said, you know what, let me just see how things go. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm sorry
She's crying.
to tell you, this sounds like a train wreck, but go ahead.
No, but it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
I'm listening to her and, I felt a little bad because I know, hey, you know what? First time you got caught, this is probably something that, whatever. So I didn't like let her know, like, okay, look, I'm just, like I'm over it because I wasn't, but I just wasn't entertaining it to the extent of.
So you're doing your best to forgive her.
Trying to, right.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Let me just watch and see, or whatever the case is, or whatever. So, she's going to work and she was crying and, she's so sorry. And moving forward, like she said, it's not going to be happening again.
Okay.
So, keep this on your face. So, me, I'm just watching out because I just know, sometimes people just talk shit and they just,
Right.
say one thing and do another. And sure as shit, less than 2 weeks later, I catch her again with the same dude.
With the same dude. Her
with
boss.
the same dude. Her boss. And this time, I had it on video. Not the sexual act, but it was them kissing in the parking lot.
Oh, my goodness. Hold on, Mr. T. This is getting deeper and deeper than I ever could have imagined. Mr. T, we have to end this session right here, but we're going to come back. Folks, you have to stay tuned for part 2. This is out of control. What part of the game is that? 18 years in a marriage. Your wife cheats after you had 2 children together and after you made a way for her to do something for herself and to be successful while you take care of your children.
Right.
Mr. T, I have to commend you on what you're doing. I'm sorry you're going through this, but listen, I can't wait to hear part 2. Thank you for coming on the show today, Mr. T.
No problem.
And we'll talk to you soon. And remember, folks, this is your pod host, OG Goat, and we want to know what part of the game is that. We're out.